what have you got here? Maybe a little bit of scandal or scandalous affair, but I have two fashion icons from the 1960s. If you are a music fan, of course, you must probably love Dusty. And this book goes in the inside of Dusty. Who was she again? And her struggles, of course, her collaborations, everything. And her being part of the band, and when she went solo. And also, if you're part of the LGBTQ charity, or you're an advocate or supporter of the LGBTQ, you would probably understand, or even if you're a woman going through looking at sexuality, this book kind of would be a good recommendation. Dusty, she's been an inspiration for many female and male in the music industry, entertainment industry, but she also struggled with her sexuality, and especially because she was a woman in her time where women and men were forbidden to date each other. So, I mean, if you're interested, I think I would recommend this if you're going through a similar situation. I recommend if you can find her any of her interviews. If not, her song should be on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your music from. That is more British, America, all over the place. You know how celebrities are. Now, if you're into British aristocracy or the royal family or anything, what a scandalous affair. I know many people remember her as an adulteress. I mean, she did commit adultery, but why remember someone's mistakes or flaws? Her legacy should be celebrated, and I know she has been through a lot and whatever, but one thing I love is this line. For traditionalists such as Margaret, the changes were hard to accept. Now this talks about, well, let's start from the top. From the top of page 222, Mary Quant was responsible for slashing skirts to such new heights that miniskirt was born. While a new generation of photographers, David Bailey, Norman Ailes, Brian Duffy, Terence Dolan, and Barry Latican, rivaled America's Richard Avedon, Irving Penn, Melvin Solosky, and Britain's Norman Parkinson, Margaret remained safely with her own interpreters, Dorothy Wilding and Broderick Haldane. For traditionalists such as Margaret, the changes were hard to accept. I mean, she did smoke cigarettes. She was a smoker. She drank white wine. And she did do a little bit of drugs as well. So it was not just a scandalous affair she was involved in, but a little bit of scandal. She always had her own top haute couture houses in London and Paris that she followed and she wore, but never ever, when British fashion designer Mary Quant started, well, she didn't start a trend. She saw those London girls always protesting they want mini skirts, they want to not dress like their mom. Mary Quant, who is a fashion designer, started designing the mini skirts, and she never took any credits, because I've read somewhere that Mary Quant never took any credits and said it's all thanks to those London girls on the streets who were so eager and determined to have mini skirts. But this is also a fashion icon. She may not have followed any trends. I mean, you don't have to follow fashion trends. I mean, I see a lot of fashion influencers here on TikTok that actually they follow for the fashion trends. They follow trends. They are trendsetters. They follow fashion trends, and they're trying to, of course, promote those fashion brands, which I understand, but they're more like fashion models. Those new social media fashion influencers are more like models. They're just modeling for like Chanel or Louis Vuitton, like this luxury brand. They don't actually know about fashion. So that's if you're interested. To know fashion is a wider concept, because fashion works with different industries. Like fashion and art definitely work well together, because art, it's if you have been in art in high school, you probably, or even in primary school, learned about the color wheel. So art teaches about you about the colors, the color wheel, and mixing the colors, and then slowly you go into designs. You also go into a little bit of photography and media sort of thing, and then you start slowly for some fashion designs and fashion illustrations. I'm not a professional fashion designer. I didn't study fashion science, but I know a little. But I did study art though in level at age of 16. I studied level 1 art and design, so I know a little bit more about the color wheel and the colors and the mixing. We did a little bit of photography and media and changing little things around, and we didn't exactly look at fabrics. Now this is again where history comes in. History is so big. History of fabrics, history of clothes, and how did clothes evolve over time. As I mentioned, Mary Kwan, the British fashion designer who took on what a lot of British girls in London streets were trying to do. And if you're similar to, not very similar to the former Duchess of Argyle, you won't be following the trends. You set your own trends, and by setting your own trends, I mean, if you love charity shopping, go to a charity shop. If you want to, there are so many items. When my mom first took me to charity shops, when I was little, she had a browse through different blazers, different shirts, dresses. There are so many hidden gems in charity shops and secondhand shops, and there you go, you can do vintage shopping. Vintage is really, I love vintage, especially when it's to do with colors and very bright and bold colors. Yves Saint Laurent is one. I know I'm glad the modern fashion designers who work for Yves Saint Laurent brand have still remained that bold color from the original fashion designer. Who else? American-born, Hong Kong-based fashion designer Diane Fraser, and then of course Dale Tryon. Those are the fashion designers who have created colorful, and Dale and Diane Fraser, they have created not just bold and colorful silhouettes, but they have their garments that they design are with elasticated waist, so people like me and who have a bigger bust and hips, it's really useful to have beautiful dresses with elasticated waist. This one is not from Diane Fraser Dale Tryon. It's there was a boutique in Preston, which of course will close at the end of January, and it's sad. It's sad that they're closed, but they had so many beautiful dresses and skirts and longer skirts. I love long skirts and mixing them, and this is elasticated waist. I love this. I love all things pretty dresses and colourful.